Imhotep African family, and welcome to Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service. I am Dr. Nteri Nelson, a Kemetaphysician, licensed clinician and educator, and co-founder of the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness. And so delighted to have each and every one of you with us today for this Kemetaphysics of Autumnal Equinox celebration. Ra, the sun, sun daughter, and understanding balance. So we'll be getting more into our service for today. I do want to say once again, I'm still on a pretty intense technical curve of learning. So please pardon me in advance if we have any technical issues that hopefully over time will be getting better and better and more seamless as we go along. We today are celebrating this autumnal equinox, this time of year, and we understand that our ancient African Kemetic ancestors observed the cycles of the sun, which they called Ra, and they in turn patterned their lives after and upon the sun. And it's at this autumnal equinox that we will observe the spiritual meaning of this stationing at this time of the sun in its positioning of equal day and equal night in our lives, as we, as the sun, the S-U-N, and the sun daughter, S-O-N, then undergo a shift. We'll be undergoing a shift. And we will reflect deeply upon what is being called forth from us at this pivotal moment. Together as one, we will take stock of what we have garnered in the prior seasons of the sun stationing, as we, like the sun, have moved from the winter solstice to the spring equinox, to the summer solstice, and as we come now to this autumnal equinox stationing and point. And we will, together and as one, explore indications of future seeds in our growth, our cycle of growth. And just in terms of our news update, I'll be talking more about the start of our Ka'aba Building Lighted Temple Level 1 certification program a little later. But for today, we will have some instruction from our Kemetic wisdom from our ancestors. Then we will have a libation that will be performed by one of our Academy initiates who will introduce herself. Together and as one, we will enter into the Hall of Amente and do our recitation of the laws of Ma'at. And then we'll conclude today with a beautiful song from another initiate and songstress, Nora Bell. And please do put your comments. I see some comments are coming in. Some folks say, okay, Hotep, I'm from Angola. Wonderful. Alita, Hotep, Rosalind, Roderick, Hotep, Rachel, wonderful. Great to see. Great to see you. Great to see everyone. All right. Okay, so let's now I just want to show you some brick and mortar celebrations we've done in the Academy over the years. And here you see us in a winter solstice celebration, or a summer, or a spring, or fall. And so we are in this shift to do this online as best we can to really capture the elements of And obviously, when we do it in person, we're able to do more of the elements more fully, and we really embody it. We move to the various the eastern horizon, the western horizon. We move in this celebration in a way we can't quite do the same online. We can embrace. We have food, as you can see in the background there. And so when we do our celebration online, we make adjustments and still work to convey the fullness of the celebration and the elements in the time that we live in. So the fall equinox is the which was yesterday, Saturday, the first day of autumn, arrives in the northern hemisphere, and we look at what is the equinox. We know that the sun has four stationings at these cardinal points that mark the winter solstice, where we have the longest night and the shortest day. We have the summer solstice, which is opposite that, and we have the longest day and the shortest night. And then we have this spring and autumnal equinox, which in the northern hemisphere, which are the points in the sun's stationing that mark equal day and equal night. And at the winter, at the winter, the sun has made its deepest descent, and in the summer, it has made its highest ascent. And as we now come to this equal day and equal night in this autumnal equinox, it is the moment and opportunity, beloveds, where we come before the scales of Ma'at, in the tropical sign of Libra. And that's to be understood tropically, not sidereally. We're in this tropical stationing of the sun that mark our seasons. And we make daily and yearly observation of the sun in its journey as it makes its highest ascent in the sky, in its ascent and its lowest descent as it moves into the seeming underworld that our ancients have taught us about. And we, like as the sun, S-U-N, sun daughter, S-O-N, reflect on how we are like the sun in this movement. So we have a wonderful opportunity now to reflect on that movement. Now I'll show you an image here now. Let me just go here. Show you this image here, just so we get some of the, we have studies in our cosmology, our cosmogenesis, where we go, our astrology, our meteorology, our astronomy, where we go deeper into, but just for the purposes of today, we are understanding the sun's, the earth spins on its axis, and it's tilted at a 23.5 degrees with respect to the sun. And this is what gives us the four seasons that we experience. And the ecliptic is the apparent path of the sun's motion on the celestial sphere from Earth's perspective. So the ecliptic plane is in this tilt of 23.5 degrees with respect to the plane of the celestial equator. And the ecliptic plane intersects the celestial equatorial plane along the line between the equinoxes. So this is what brings us, you can see I hope you can see, I'm not sure if you can see me moving my cursor here to just show you this intersection here between these planes that give us these equinoxes, which is here, spring, and then the autumnal, which is the fall or where we are now. So today we're celebrating the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere, and again, all of the Earth is undergoing this time of equal day and equal night. Just something to consider as the entire Earth now can come before the scales of Ma'at. And let's just look at these scales. So here we are. Here's our image, beloveds, of the hall of Amenta, that we now come before the scales in the weighing of our heart, where we then will do the recitation of the laws of Ma'at. We come before the scales of Ma'at. It's important to maintain balance, especially in these troubled times in which we now live. So, beloveds, together and as one, let us just take a moment to reflect deeply and ask internally the questions of what are we harvesting now at this equinox of autumn from the seeds that were sown in the solstice of winter and sprouting in the equinox of spring, the full blossoming in the solstice of summer. What are we reaping now before the scales in this autumnal equinox in the sign of Libra? What are we manifesting? What have we manifested in this harvesting cycle? You know, when we talk about harvesting, it's harvesting not only the vegetation that has grown in the cycle with the sustenance from the sustenance of the sun, but how have we grown? What have we been able to harvest? And so this is the time, beloveds, when we can look at what have our deeds been? What have our good deeds been? As we come before the scales, what have been our dealings in relationship with ourselves as we seek to come before the scales, and how we have been in or out of balance and out of accord with the 42 laws of Ma'at, which we'll talk about in a moment. What have been our dealings with others? Have we been fair and just and balanced? We remember as we go through the 42 laws, but the principles undergirding the 42 laws are balance, truth, harmony, justice, reciprocity, right relationship, propriety. How have we been in our dealings with others before the scales of Ma'at? Time to reflect. What may have been our transgressions? You know, as we look at our good deeds and what we've garnered, what may be some areas that we have had transgressions, and just take a moment to reflect on these. Beloveds, as we go through the 42 laws of Ma'at a little later, you'll want to think about what even 2 laws during this cycle that you feel you've gotten more mastery on, more than in the last season or last cycle of the sun. You know, in finding balance in regard to ourselves, it's, you know, how we are now called as we begin to shift into longer longer nights and shorter days, when we begin to tip into this darkening, lengthening. How are we regulating the self in terms of our day and night, our wake sleep schedule, our summer to winter foods, our clothing, outdoor and indoor activities, being more active or being more or homebound. And then again, in relationship to others, we can look at the examples now before the scales of in because we always come to earth with the thud in the media, the automobile strike, which will be affecting us all on some level or other. Certainly economically, it's going to affect. But this is about right relationship, being fair and just and balanced. When one entity has amassed a great fortune from the labor of the other, and how have they fairly or unfairly compensated that other? How have you fairly or unfairly compensated that other in your own set of relationships? And beloveds, as we come before the scale on a planetary level, let's hold in our awareness the major planetary decision that the inhabitants of Earth are facing, and those in power will, when it comes to nuclear weaponry and use even weaponizing food now. How are we dealing with one another? How are the Earth inhabitants being fair and just and righteous and striking balance and harmony in our world community? Now, as we are shifting into longer nights and shorter days and have increasing darkness, we now feel the energetic momentum of which even is called this time of year fall, of a momentum of falling into darkness. Or but how is this darkness to be interpreted? So metaphysically, we understand, and these writings are in my books, Ka Bin Light Temple. We understand and make the distinction between uppercase darkness and blackness and lowercase darkness and blackness. You know, when we talk about uppercase darkness and blackness, we talk about capital D, capital A, capital R, capital K, capital B, capital L, capital A, capital C, capital K, uppercase. And beloveds, we know we don't have any fear of uppercase darkness. This is the absolute, the Amen, the where the fount of all possibility, the source from which creation arises, where the first aspect out of blackness and darkness, first manifestation out of blackness and darkness is light itself. So we don't fear uppercase darkness or blackness. We need only fear lowercase darkness or blackness of our own making. And of course, planetary making. And this is lowercase d, lowercase A, R, K, and blackness, E, L, A, C, K. Because this is lowercase darkness is the accumulation of wrong thought, word, action, and deed. It is the darkening shadow that is one would confront in that underworld, in that realm. And simply put, metaphysically, beloveds, because we don't get spooked up about anything, it's merely, but profoundly and treacherously, the misappropriation of energies. That's all. It's the misappropriation of energies. So to take this time to reflect on what energies have been misappropriated on your part, our part, my part. Energies have, because energy is energy, and it becomes uh, encapsulated and can be utilized. It is utilized negatively, and so what energies have been misappropriated? What are these energies that need to be released? Outworn forms, whether it be a wrong thought. Thought has a form. Thought has a thingness. Just reflect for a moment. And it's also important, beloveds, in interpreting this shift, to understand that this shift is just a directional shift, uh, and it's how we make this directional shift into increasing darkness, this seeming fall toward increasing darkness and decrease of light. But to remember that it's about the momentum, it's a directional, and we have to look at how to make use of it to shed what is no longer needed in the next cycle of our growth. We want to have right interpretation of it just being a directional shift that assists us in shedding what is no longer needed for our growth in the next cycle. It's also how, in this shift, we are able to accumulate, more solidly what we have garnered at those scales, what we have harvested. If you can almost think about it like, um, if you were at a point, and you had you on a bicycle, and you had your backpack on, and you had your hat and your scarf, and now you're making the shift to go seemingly downhill. Your hat might fly off, your scarf might fly off, but your backpack, which is what you've got solidly on your back, is what you're able to carry into the next cycle. And what you need to shed, you have shed, or will be shedding. So we want to use this momentum. And uh, if we don't have sort of proper interpretation of the momentum, we could experience this time as a down, or some folks do suffer from what's called sad seasonal affective depression, where they get real sad and uh, at this time of decreasing light. So, beloveds, this is the time in our meditation and our practices to maintain our balance, immerse ourselves in blackness, in darkness, uppercase blackness and darkness, so that we can prepare for this shedding, this seeming death and rebirth that will take place, the shedding of the old, the the let us take time to reflect. And at the same time, beloveds, let us honor our ancestors who have made this shift, not just on a daily or seasonal basis like we are making now, to wake up in the morning. But they have come to the West where our African ancestors are, the Nile Valley went to the West, that they may then enter into the underworld as and become as our ancestors. So let's take this time, especially during the libation, which we'll have shortly, to honor those who have, as their harvest, they came to this West, this spot, these scales for that final time. And their whole life was the harvest that then came before the scales. So we tell and retell the story of being like as the sun in our entire journey, in our entire cycle of birth, death, and renewal. Now, looking at the time here, I just want to say a couple of things. And I want to talk, just before we shift to our ritual, about balance. This is from a prior service, wisdom service. It says, "In the world turns upside down, are you able to see what needs to be done to restore balance in your life?" And what I want to do here, beloveds, we have so many folks here. Let's see. Wow, look at all the folks who come on. Just saying hi. Just hopefully all of you. It looks like it should be working, but I'm not sure. It may be on your end, Rosangela. But so balance. So Dr. Nteri's been in a headstand and all the blood is rushing to her head. So let me share this short clip with you so that you can see why this balance is important. Balance is so key to our spiritual growth and development. Listen to this short clip. That harmony and justice. And here this is in a headstand, which I talked about, and the importance of yoga, all forms of yoga, because this is one form, and then there is the advanced whirling form that I teach, yoga whirling practice. But what is justice? What is finding harmony and balance? What is the tongue? What is the being crooked? What is the being off of balance and out of accord with the laws of my art? When you practice a headstand, beloveds, when you get in a headstand, you either are in balance and you could hold that position, which is what justice is, when you strike that balance, or you are tipping and you're toppling over and you are out of balance. Justice is metaphysical. Balance is metaphysical. And it's not abstract. You either know it and you have it and you strike it, or you miss the mark. And this is what our spiritual practices, such as yoga, can teach us. Beautiful, beloveds. All right, I see us there, beloveds, Rosangela, Nora. Yes, balance. I mean, just remember when you started to learn how to ride a bike, and just how, I know for myself, how tedious that was until you get it and then you can go forward. Balance is very metaphysical, and We can be out of balance in our relationships. We can be out of balance in our work-life balance. We can be out of balance in our diet, where we just feel like we're not feeling good. Someone has a comment. Let's see. Okay, these are thinking about it. So just let me see. So very key, beloveds, this remaining in this balance. And what else to consider when we talk about balance? Balance is balancing that Haru and Set or Setian energy within us. We are called to bring our personal will in alignment with divine will, and yet we can struggle with here being out of accord with that will and trying to not choose forces of Isfet or that which would take us out of alignment in accord with balance. So we're always in this balance. And I'm going to share this video. This is very short, and oh, this is Rosangela. Okay, just learning as I go along. All right, here we go. So we'll play this, and then we'll figure out again what's happening with the mic on. We want to understand more what is balance. Let's go more deeply into, because we can see we're trying to balance those forces of good or evil or Ma'atian and Setian. But let's look at this another way, or otherwise understood as we look at balance. The metaphysical keys to dispelling illusion as we talk about balance, beloveds. And you can find the metaphysical keys for those of you who have been studying and are in the course now. In Ka'aba, Billion Lighted Temple, page 234, you can find the metaphysical keys to the Tree of Life. And what are the metaphysical keys to the Tree of Life? They are keys that teach us how, that spirit has imparted, where we can penetrate into words and see the meaning, dispel the illusion, derive the higher meaning, dispel the illusion, see where words have been potentized to be injurious to African consciousness. And so let's take this word balance. All right, so the first thing in the keys, beloveds, is you put the word in a circle. That's number one in terms of using these metaphysical keys to dispel illusion. How do you penetrate into words and understand their deeper metaphysical meaning? You place the words in a circle because the circle is a mouth. It is an oracle. And these nature, and those who are doing these studies know, we looked at that each letter in the alphabet has its correspondence numerically. We've done all that. You put the word in a circle, and that becomes the oracle, the aperture through which the ancestors may speak. The nature, each letters and numbers are nature. They are divine beings through which the word in itself went out and created the universe. So we know the power in a word. So the first step, you put, and then you begin to look at, well, what may be derived from this word? And I'm just going to make it shortcut because of the interest of time and take you right there. So this word, what does this word reveal? It reveals Cain and Abel. And beloveds, if for those who've been studying with me in the academy for some decades, we have been seeing all the ways that this white supremacist paradigm hasn't even really been imaginative. Things are right before our eyes, taking our story, our stuff, and repackaging it and giving it to us as if they came up with it in its distorted, renamed form. And so here we are. When we take the word balance, it reveals Cain and Abel. Rosangela, come forward, who is going to do the libation.
Ma'akeru, Ma'akeru, the truth of voice, the voice of our ancestors who are immortal, who are in eternity through eyes. We are going to do the libation and bring this energy, the spiritual forces of our ancestors to this place. I have the water, and after each invocation, we say Ma'akeru and Ashe. At this first moment, we're going to say Ashe, Dua, to the forces of nature, are the Neter, Neteru, to Amen, Amen Ra, to Alsa, to Heru, to Alsete, Dua, Ashe, to Ma'at, to Huti, Dua, Ashe. The forces that embrace us in our journey in the world, Ashe. We say Ma'akeru to our ancestors from Kemet to the Happy Valley, the ones who brought the civilization, they brought the mathematics, the medicine, Ashe, Ma'akeru. The ones who teach us the spirituality, Ashe. The ones who brought our development to the world and study the nature so we have the power to know who we are. Ashe, Ma'akeru. We bring now our heart to our ancestors who went through Ma'afa, the great disaster, to our elders, our men, our women, our children. We never forgot and will never forget your names, the names of those who shared the tears and the blood in this land. Ma'akeru, Ashe, Ma'akeru. To our great ancestors who rescued the history, the greatness of our civilization, of our heritage, the ones who went back to Africa and brought to us the knowledge that we have today to know who we are and where we come from. Ma'akeru, Ashe. To our ancestors who are closer to us, the ones who we know their names and they know our name, our closest ancestors, the ones who serve to us as example how we should live our life in dignity, in justice, in order, in ma'at, in truth. Ma'akeru, Ashe. throughout the nature that we share while we are here. We have the gift to come to this planet as a spiritual beings in this physical form to develop the purpose of our spiritual forces. The trees, the water, the land, the planets that we can learn from to be the image of the Creator, Ashe. For us who are here today, for the ones who come before us, and for all those who are going to be here when we no longer are here in this place, the past, the present, and the future. Ma'akeru, Ashe, and so be it. Be together as one. We breathe together. We bring our memory to those who develop the way, they pave the way, so we can continue to teach our history, our legacy, and our greatness. Let's bring together an inhale and exhale, and we say Ankh at the end of the exhale. Ankh, the life, the eternal life. Inhale together. Throughout.
As we come before the scales, we now stand before the Eastern altar, and you may read at home in the audience as we recite the following. Left foot first, we stand before the Eastern altar where the sun Ra rose in the sky this morning. And we say, may my heart be with me in the house of hearts. May my heart be with me, and may it rest in me, for I shall not eat of the cakes of Osir on the eastern side of the lake of flowers. Neither shall I have a boat wherein to go down the Nile, and another wherein to go up, nor shall I go forward in the boat with you. May my mouth be given unto me, that I may speak with it, and my 2 feet to walk with, and my 2 hands and arms to overthrow my foe. May the doors of heaven be open unto me. May Geb, the prince of the gods, open wide his 2 jaws unto me. May he open my 2 eyes, which are bound together, and may Anubis make my legs firm, that I may stand upon them. May the goddess Sekhet make me to rise, so that I may ascend unto heaven, and there may be that be done which I command in the house of the Ka of Ptah. I know my heart. I have gotten the mastery over my heart. I have gotten the mastery over my 2 hands and arms. I have gotten the mastery over my feet, and I have gained the power to do whatsoever my Ka pleases. My soul shall not be shut off from my body at the gates of the underworld, but I shall enter in peace, and I shall come forth in peace. And now, beloveds, with left shoulder back, we precess now to the Western altar. And in facing west, with left foot forward, we begin our recitation of the laws of Ma'at. And you can do them in your space. So let's take a deep breath, beloveds, and together as one, let us be in recitation of these 42 laws that guide us in having right relationship with every kingdom in nature, the relationship with ourselves, the relationship with one another, the relationship with the planet, relationship with every kingdom of nature, now have vegetable, come forward, mineral, animal, and the human kingdom. And in the kingdom of our ancestors, let us speak universal laws and be guided by them in our walk. And together and as one, we say, with violence to anyone or anything, I have not robbed with violence. I have done no murder. I have done no harm. I have not defrauded temple offerings. I have not dismissed obligations. I have not plundered the necher. I have not spoken lies. I have not snatched away food. I have not caused pain. I have not abused my sexuality. I have not caused the shedding of tears. I have not dealt deceitfully. I have not transgressed or angered God. I have not acted guilefully. I have not laid waste the plowed land. I have not borne false witness. Set my lips in motion against anyone. I have not been angry and wrathful except for a just cause. I have not committed adultery, not taken the wife of any man, the husband of any wife. I have not lusted nor committed fornication. I have not polluted myself. I have not caused terror. I have not spoken evil. I have not burned with rage. I have not stopped my ears against the words of right and truth, my eyes. I have not worked grief. I have not acted with insolence. I have not stirred up strife. I have not judged hastily. I have not been an eavesdropper or pried into matters to make mischief. I have not multiplied my words exceedingly. I have not done harm nor ill, dishonored the ancestors. I have not fouled or wasted the water. I have not spoken scornfully, not cursed the nature. I have not polluted the earth. I have not defrauded the offerings of the Necharu. I have not plundered the offerings of the blessed dead. I have not mistreated children. I have not mistreated animals. Dua'u, dua'u. We give praise and appreciation in this moment and in this gathering, that together and as one, we have been in this recitation, ritual, and observance of our movement into the hall of the mentor, coming before the scales, this recitation of the 42 laws of Ma. Ankajasana. And so, beloveds, as we have this slide up, just to say, Rosangela is just a beautiful, beloved soul, an initiate who has been in our graduating and teaching in our academy, and has her own center now in Brazil, and she can at some point tell you more about that. Okay. And Nora will have you come forward and introduce yourself and delight us with your beautiful voice that the ancestors speak through.
Oh,
All
dua, dua, ooh,
right.
beloved family. It's just an honor to be with you in circle. Are you able to hear me okay?
I'm going to put you back there now.
Okay. Blessings, blessings, and peace, family. Yes, indeed. My name, Nora, given to me through my studies way back when, I won't say the year, with Dr. Nteri and Baba Lester. And I'm just so graced to share with you this beautiful morning, this new beginning, this now new beginning. And so this is what Spirit spoke to me in terms of sharing today as we shift into this new energy, and we are just renewed. Holy Spirit, breath of heaven, welcome into our hearts, our minds, our souls. Let your love light shine in our lives. Welcome, Holy Spirit, love divine. Let your love light always shine in this heart of mine and in all humankind. And let us walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, and where there is no separation, and the light is all we see, honoring all of our differences, and love, 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 divine, holy, sacred, universal, unconditional, intelligent, love like sound will set us free. Oh, Mother Amen, Father Amen, there's a healing going on. Mother Amen, Father Amen, there's a healing going on. Mother Amen, Father Amen, oh, there's a healing going on right now. Whoa, rock our souls right now. And I know it's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me, all of us, with compassion, faith, trust, and truth, and love, 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 love will set us free. Ashe, 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 ashe.
Wow. Oh, wow. Dua. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. I'm going to bring you on the stage too, Rosangela. Oh, just beautiful. Just, oh my goodness. And you know, Nora, you always bring me to tears. And uh, we're looking at your comments in the comments section too. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And you know what? And share your thoughts in your reflections in your comments, audience, please. And you know, one of the things that came to me as you were singing, Nora, when you talk about it, there's a healing going on, and you know, and that, and then you talk about what was happening in the light, and what it brought to me is that, you know, in this cycle, maybe what some of the things that have happened for folks is they've gotten some healing, and that's part of the harvest. And as they now go into the underworld, they can shed that which no longer serves the light.
Ah,
That no longer no longer serves the light.
ah.
You know, does
Yes,
that
in the
yes?
fullness of the harvest, in the fruit, you know, we brought forth the fruit. Many of us, and as you say, we've all going through, you know, our own, in terms of our own personal, our beloveds, the community, you know, our ancestors, all, you know, and yet here we are. Here we are in this new season. And as you, and it's so apropos that you say, as we go into this so-called season of dark, like the winter, but we're going with the strength of the uppercase darkness, the
Yes.
uppercase, like you so, you know, so beautifully said, you know, and spoke. Yes, the uppercase, the power of it, we have it, we have it, it is ours, and it's time to share it, you know, more so. I receive that in my own, you know, work, that it's time for us to join together because we have such beautiful power to share, and
Yes.
on that work of our beloved ancestors, those our blood and those of our ancients of ancients, you know, that are here in their place.
Yes. And we must, as you reflected just now too, Nora, just always embrace the uppercase darkness and blackness. Just as we make the shift, just feel yourself going and just being in the womb, just in the womb. Because when we do this ritual in the winter, at the winter solstice, we go into, you know, the tomb and the womb are synonymous, beloveds. Our African ancestors teach us the tomb and the womb are synonymous. And so we go into the tomb, the womb, the seeming tomb. We go and we are rebirthed. We shed that which no longer serves, and we are rebirthed.
Beautiful, beautiful.
In that cycle, in that cycle. Did you have some other reflections?
Oh, I was just saying, enlightened and empowered.
Yes. Yeah, and some we have Rosalind that Roderick said Ashe powerful, and Rosalind said that was powerful. And Rose Angela, she's able to type in there. Amazing. Okay. Just beautiful. Martha, powerful, and you as usual. Thank you, Nora, from uh and here we go. Tim says, Dua'u, let not be afraid of the dark. Love is light. Beautifully expressed, beautifully expressed. And this is so much of overcoming our African ancestors. We didn't subscribe to death. We knew that we were the eternal one, the ever coming one, the Jet Nehege. We saw the cycle of the sun, and we pattern our lives after the sun, the ever coming one. And Rose Angela says, dark, black, Aman. Yes, the dark, the black is the Aman. It's the fount of all possibilities. It's the water. You talk about the waters. It's the waters of noon, out of which we all creation rises. That's what comes, that we see what has manifested in the light of day. Out of the blackness, we see what has manifested in this light of day. We only need to have any concern about lowercase darkness or blackness. And that is, that we are in accord with the laws of Ma'at. So we are not in that accumulation of lowercase darkness and blackness, and that we see the way to navigate and be through and be unperturbed by the accumulation of this world and its accumulated darkness, lowercase, that that we do have to navigate through as we move now as the sun through the underworld. We have to, but we are equipped with our primal wisdom, which gives us the direction, the how we have the passwords to move through, how we have conditioned ourselves, how we have worked through any of the pains or in the heart that have been transmuted so that our heart may be as light as a feather, and we are unfettered in our passage and our passing now through this underworld, this netherworld. And we must embrace uppercase darkness and blackness, and be held in this. This is the equinox spring. The autumnal equinox brings that cuddle time when you get the blankets and you get by the fire and it's toasty and warm, and you're taking stock and you're meditating, and you're comforted you're robed in that darkness, that the uppercase darkness and blackness, and you just know you're okay. And you're listening carefully to what is to be shed, and what is the seeding now going on for the rebirth that will come in the next season. So by the time we are up at that summer solstice at the highest point, what is revealed at the apex? What is that light, that glorious light? What is that glorious light? And my prayer would have been strummed by Nora's the voice coming through the